Hey guys, it's Oluvids, and a little while ago I made a video about 5 things I'd like to see in the next phase of Kingdom Hearts. Well, now this time I'm going to be talking about 5 things we will see in the next phase of Kingdom Hearts. So that last one was kind of just like what I would like to see, not really based on any facts or anything, just cool things I'd like to see personally. This one's going to be more based on facts, based on things that, we've seen, we've had hints to, or things in interviews. So number 5 is going to be, who is Yzor, and pretty much Ysor's whole backstory and everything about him. When I say next phase in Kingdom Hearts, I don't just mean like the next game. I mean like the entire phase. If you remember, Kingdom Hearts Phase 1 is literally the entire Kingdom Hearts series that we have right now. So a phase is going to be a long time, assuming this is going to be like the first phase. Even if we don't learn everything about Yzor in Kingdom Hearts 4, throughout the phase, we're going to learn everything about him, Even the more mentioned that originally he was going to do a Verm Rex thing, but then he made Kingdom Hearts 4 because people were trying to figure out where Sora is, and we want to see Sora again. So eventually, I think maybe some sort of Verm Rex story either is going to happen in Kingdom Hearts 4 or is going to happen in a side game, and we'll see his whole backstory and everything like that. So it'll be pretty interesting because there's a lot of things we don't actually know about him. For one, we don't know what kind of trials he faced and who put him up to these trials, who told him to save Sora. We also don't know whose body he's in, because apparently that's not his body and he's been changed apparently. The Nameless Star pretty much told us that something happened to him and he changed. We don't know why. We also don't actually know which world he's from, because he mentions that this is not the real world, meaning he knows about reality and unreality and the difference between them. So I mean, I'd assume the people of unreality just see their world as the real world. So if he knows the difference, then I mean, that raises some questions, right? What's going on with him? What's his deal? What trials did he go through? And all the stuff he basically did not elaborate on. All right, so number 4, we got, who is Luxor or Luxor in Verm Rex. So if you guys remember, in the ending cutscene, the secret cutscene at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, or all that DLC stuff, we have 2 separate scenes, 2 different versions of one scene where Yzor is in the car and all that. It's kind of like a reference to Final Fantasy Versus 13, and we got a guy sitting in the front, and he sounds a lot like Luxor, looks like him too, from what we've seen from his back at least. And not only that, earlier in the Remind DLC, the first portion, we have Xigbar questioning, like, who are you really, Luxor? Like, you know a bit more than you're letting on. What's going on? Not only that, we also have him giving Sora the wild card, which I think plays a part into why Sora's in Quadratum. Either that or will come up in Quadratum again to help him with something. So there's definitely a lot more we're missing on Luxor. We don't know his original name, we don't know his origins. Apparently he has some sort of tie to the Keyblade. I have a feeling we'll actually learn more about him in Missing Link, but we don't know his role in Verm Rex right now. I think in Verm Rex we'll learn his role there in the next phase of Kingdom Hearts. I have a theory that maybe like he used to be a Keyblade wielder in that in-between period. Maybe him and Demyx were in there, but that's not really based on fact, that's just me guessing. Well, I guess it's based on the fact that there is something with the Keyblade in the Macorn and Xemnas. So yeah, maybe like in Missing Link we'll learn about his regular form, and then he's gonna end up in Verm Rex, and then in Kingdom Hearts 4 we may run into him and learn more about that. The tricky thing is, it seems like him and Yzor might end up being in the Shinjuku area while Sora's in the Shibuya area. So if we see Riku's side of what's going on in Kingdom Hearts 4, then we'll probably learn more about them that way. Alright, so number 3 is, what is the Master of Masters plan? And generally just all about the Master of Masters. So we're probably going to learn a bit more about the Master of Masters in things like Dark Road and Missing Link. We might even learn his name in Dark Road, because he does tell Xehanort his name, but it blocks it out in Kingdom Hearts 3. I have a feeling we're going to see that scene in a different context in Dark Road. But generally, what is the Master of Masters plan? Because I think everything he did in Kingdom Hearts 1 was just phase 1 of his plan, pretty much. Like he was a true mastermind behind all that. But I mean, now that he's in Quadratum, the question is like, what does he want to do now? Like, we know that he wants to get rid of the darkness, the being darkness, the entity darkness that's in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross and all of those games. That's more intelligent and inhabits the people's bodies. We know that he wants to get rid of that, and he wants to get away from darkness. But okay, he's in Quadratum, he's in his little imaginary world or whatever. What now? What's he trying to do now? It seems like he's even watching Sora in Kingdom Hearts 4. Was he the one that told Yzor about Sora, or did he want him to save Sora? What's going on with this guy? Is he really good? One of the things I always just think about is like, I actually don't know if he's really evil or not. I think that he has unconventional means, trying to get his disciples and all that to take in the darkness, causing a whole Keyblade war to happen and all that. Not exactly conventional, but I'm not sure if he's exactly a villain, Like, I don't think he's trying to destroy the world or take over Quadratum. I mean, we really don't know. We don't know, like, what he's doing. Alright, number 2 is the return of reaction commands. This is actually really exciting because we kind of got a taste of it in Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind and all the DLC stuff. They started kind of bringing them back. It seems like Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to fully embrace bringing them back, because not only do we see in, that first trailer, Sora does some sort of like button prompts QTE thing. It doesn't show which button, but it's probably triangle when he does that little drill attack and all that. I'm guessing there's going to be a lot more of that throughout the game. Sort of like how Kingdom Hearts 1 didn't really have much, but then Kingdom Hearts 2 added a bunch of reaction commands. I think Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to be Osaka Team's Kingdom Hearts 2, if that makes sense. You're going to be adding reaction commands. The battle is going to be so much more cinematic. I'm guessing for at least all the major bosses, we're going to have that. I don't know if we're going to have it for normal enemies. If we do, then yeah, like reaction commands is going to be straight up back. Maybe it won't be called reaction commands. Maybe we'll have a different name this time. But we know that QTEs are coming back to Kingdom Hearts. And that's going to be insanely exciting because, I mean, we all love reaction commands, right? In Kingdom Hearts 2, they're so cool and they just like make battles way more dynamic and all that. And it's just really cool looking. Alright, so the last thing I got, which is one of the 5 things we will see in the next phase, is the new enemy team or the new enemy organization, which is the Lost Masters, which I assume is all the foretellers like Gula, Ased, Ira, those guys. Those are going to be the new enemy team. Now, this is something that has always been a thing in Kingdom Hearts. It did not start with Organization 13. The first enemy team, if you remember, was the League of Disney Villains. That's not what they're actually called, but that's just what I call them. The League of Villains for the Disney guys, that was like the first organization. They were going throughout the world, you'd be taking them down, and then eventually you get to their base in Hall of Bastion. That kind of thing. They did the same thing with Organization 13, then they did the same thing with Organization 13 again, but this time it was for real. This time it's going to be the Lost Masters, and we even saw that in Kingdom Hearts 3's ending. We saw all the foretellers being put up against Sora. So he's going to be taking them on. I'm guessing they're going to be, I don't know if they're going to be evil, but they'll have conflicting missions or something like that. One of the things I wonder is like the foretellers seem like pretty good people, but they did end up causing a war. And they are pretty loyal to the Master of Masters. So if he tells them to do something insane, they'll probably do it. And if that conflicts with what Sora and Strelitzia are trying to do, then yeah, probably going to have to fight them. Now the interesting thing is that Ava is kind of missing in Kingdom Hearts 3's epilogue, so I'm wondering, will she also be a part of that enemy team? Is she already in Quadratum, or is she going to end up being on Sora's side? Maybe she'll be like kind of like Axel in Kingdom Hearts 2, where one of them defects and they're trying to help the main character. You know, like, oh yeah, you know, I wanted things to go back to the way it was. I wanted to hang out with Ephemer again and whatever. Probably I can see that happening because I don't think Ava. I remember even in Unicross, Ava kind of didn't like the plan. Like Luxor told her the plan, and she got her so mad she ended up taking her Keyblade trying to fight him because she was not about that plan. And she's the one that had the dandelions, which leads into Unicross, and then it leads into Missing Link. So I think that Ava might have some other separate thing going on, but the main enemy team you're probably going to be going up against is the Lost Masters. Tetsuya Nomura confirmed it in a Famitsu interview in terms of all the during the Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary. You know that I confirmed that, yeah, that's the new enemy team. And this is generally the whole phase is called the Lost Masters arc instead of the Dark Seeker Saga, which was the first one. So I have a feeling we're going to be dealing with these guys for the entire phase, not just Kingdom Hearts 4. These guys are going to be insanely important, and you know, it's going to be pretty interesting. I mean, we have them set up in Kingdom Hearts Unicross and Phase 1 and all that, but we're going to be seeing a lot more to them, I believe. So those are 5 things that we will see in the next phase of Kingdom Hearts. Let me know which ones you're excited for and which ones, you know, you don't really care that much about. I could probably do another one of these sometime because there's probably some more things that we will see, but for now, these will be 5 things. And definitely check out the other video or 5 things I want to see, because that's just like merely as a fan what I'd like to see in the next phase. Not based on any facts, just like, oh, I want, for example, Cloud and Sephiroth to come back, and then follow up on that. That's one example of one. You can watch the video to see the rest of them. But yeah, so if you guys enjoyed, definitely leave a like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you guys next time.